Gamers! Not only is it spooky month, we're gay. I love lesbians because I am a lesbian. Oh wait, no, that's a really bad intro. What's up, gamers? Not only is it spooky month, but every single month... No. I don't know if you know this already, I am a lesbian, and I love lesbians. And I found this horror visual novel on itch.io. I'll put the link in the description, support the creator, and it's YURI, and I love me some lesbians. No questions asked, I love it. I'm excited for it. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. Alright, British ass. I don't know anything. All I know is that there's lesbians. You are running through a forest. It is late at night and the sky is as black as pitch. There is nothing to light your way save for the moon's milky glow, but its rays cannot reach you, not properly. The trees which surround you, jutting out of the earth like eerie monuments to a foreign god, are blotting out most of the light. You cannot see where you are going, even if you had commenced your flight at a more sensible hour. However, with the light of the sun to aid you, it would be of little use. You do not know where you are going. You have no map, no route, no plan. You are running like a frightened animal, anxious and nervy, with no destination in mind. You have no desire. As you run and save... Wait, what? As you run, safe to escape. You cannot let yourself be caught. If that were to happen, you are certain that you would be ruined. You have no choice, therefore, but to keep going. On and on and on. Though your feet are screaming at you for mercy. You have no idea how long you've been running. Time had begun to blend together. It has lost all meaning. Something sharp snags at the hem of your skirt, but you do not have the luxury to pause and examine what has happened. Instead, you tug. Your skirt tears, the sound splitting through the forest, and you stumble forward with a shocked gasp. You are free, but at what cost? Your skirt has been irrevocably damaged. It might be too late to worry about such trivial matters now, though. If you do not start running again, and soon, she will catch you. Then your life will be over. You do not know if she is still following you, but you do not want to risk looking over your shoulder. If you were to see her silhouetted beneath the tree, looking at you with that sickly sweet smile which once ensnared you, you would lose what little nerve you possess. Your legs would lock up and your blood would freeze in your veins. Then you would crumple. You would fall, but you would not hit the ground. She would be there to catch you. Did she not promise, when you made that contract, that you would never be alone? You would like to take back that silly wish of yours, but it is too late for that. It is too late for a lot of things. All you can do is run. You run and you run and you run until at long last you reach a fork in the road. There are 3 paths which split off through the forest. Well, 4 if you count the path down which you came. You cannot exactly double back on yourself, though, not when you have put so much effort into running forwards. You can only press on. The 3 paths are signposted, which is something of a strange sight given you are so deep in the forest. Dark though it might be, you have grown accustomed to the shadows. You can just about pick out the writing in this old, dilapidated signpost, curved and slanted though it is. Your fate, if you will forgive me for sounding cliché, is in your hands. Now I wonder, which path will you take? Ooh-wee! What a start! What a riveting start! I don't know why the narration is British. Go with it. You're gonna like it, whether you like it or not. So, Castle, I feel like, belongs to whoever we're running away from. Shore is a dead end, and a village maybe we can hide in. Although, I do want to see said lady. Let's go to the castle. So you want to go to the castle? Good idea. All descent fairy tales tend to conclude in castle once their beleaguered but put upon heroines are finally able to wed the handsome princess they once dreamed of. Why bother trying your luck with the shore, which may very well be deserted, or the village, which will be full of dirty, barefoot peasants? It is far better to skip the suffering and go straight to the grand finale. That is very astute of you. I did not realize you had it in you to be so mercenary. I can only wonder what you will uncover during your moonlight meanderings. The night is far from over and your adventures are only just beginning. I hope,
only that you have brushed up on your curtsies. They might come in handy when one is interacting with a sovereign. Royals can be temperamental after all. If you fail to treat them with the prerequisite amount of respect, you might come to regret it. You follow the path which leads to the castle, supporting yourself on weary, aching legs which feel ready, at a moment's notice, to detach from your hips. You are little more than a wisp of a girl. But you have been running for so long, and your feet are so very numb, you feel like a great lumbering thing, clumsy and ungainly. The soles of your feet are screaming at you. You need to lie down, and quickly. You only hope as you continue to run that you will find a spare room available for you in the castle. There must also be a king and a queen inside this castle, you ponder. But who will this Jesus! There's so many words! And I know it's a visual novel, shut up. I mean, there's big words that confuse me. You ponder, who will be kind and wise, and what of their children? What of a princess? Every good castle must possess a princess who will take pity on you and your plight. You can imagine the face of this generous princess with ease, thanks to the fairy tales you read in abundance as a smile. As a small child. Was there not a very famous queen who once said, with a cavalier wave of her hand, that the hungry peasants in her kingdom should content themselves with cake if bread was not an option? Let them have cake, if you will. Man, I'm sorry that I'm saying so many words wrong. English is hard, and I don't know some of these words. You think that this might be a misquote, but the point still stands. Though royals are supposed to grant their subjects succour in their time of need, this does not always happen. This is like when I was in high school reading Shakespeare and I had no idea what all these words were, and my teacher was like, you should really Google those words because the way you're saying them does not match what the word was. Because I was saying something very elegantly, but I was basically saying someone should kill themselves, and I didn't know that. So I'm sorry if I'm doing that exact same thing here. You know what? What is succour? And how do you say it? Assistance and support in times of hardship and distress.
Succor.
Succor! Are they French? The moonlight shines down upon the castle, which glooms in front of you like a cliffside. Delicious. The stone edifice of the building is imposing, and it drowns you in the shadows darker than the depths of the deepest oceans. The castle is not all dark, though, not like the night sky above it. When you crane your head, you can see that there are lights flickering within in the narrow, slitted windows. It would appear that somebody is home. The king and queen, perhaps? What of their servants? Or perhaps more pressingly of their guards? You half expect as you stand there that armored knights will accost you for daring to approach the castle of King and Queen so-and-so. Do you not know your place, foolish peasant girl with dirty little skirt? Be gone with you. You are not, of course, a peasant. Your family is a wealthy one, or rather they were, before your father made a series of poor financial decisions. You do not look like a young lady right now, though, with your dirty face and your dirty skirt, which is torn at the hem. If any guards were to take you for a vagrant, it would not be surprising. But though you stand there dithering, your filthy fingers hooked in front of your filthy skirt, you do not hear any cries. Nobody sounds an alarm. The lights might be on inside the castle, but there is nobody outside its perimeter standing sentry. Jesus! There is nobody to impede your entry, and the elaborate iron gates, which are set into the vast stone walls about the castle's exterior, are open, just a crack. It would be a trivial matter to slip inside. There is nobody to stop you. You stand there, for an indeterminable amount of time, your heart pounding in panicked, irregular rhythm in the base of your throat. But no matter how much time elapses, no guards come. You are thankful for your good luck, though it does make you wonder, where is everybody? Why? It is almost as if all the people in the world have disappeared. Could you be the very last human alive? You frown, then press your palm back against the door. Yum, I don't like that. You push less cautiously this time, heedless of the sound which splits the silence. There's no point in worrying about the guards, not when they might very well be non-existent. Your entry to the castle secured. You then take a step forward. The door swings shut behind you, and the resultant slam makes you jump. You did not expect it. Your heart knocks against your ribs, and with wild eyes you glance about, not knowing what else to do. Is there anything else you can do? You begin to explore. You examine the rooms first on the ground floor of the castle, which are of similar scale to the impressive entrance hall, large and richly furnished, but utterly unoccupied. After some time of aimless meandering, encountering nobody save the ghosts of eons past memorialized on portraits upon the walls, you muster the courage to ascend to the second floor. There's a lot of words. This floor, too, you examine, wandering through a seemingly endless series of hallways until at long last you find a door which is ajar. From between the crack in the door and the jamb, you can see a flickering light, irregular, yes, but it is a light nonetheless. Could it be from a fireplace? That would suggest then that this room is occupied unlike all the others. Perhaps the kindly princess you dreamed of will be awaiting you in this room. It is with a trembling hand that you press your palm against the door. You push it. Why am I freaked? Then you step inside the bedchamber, which unveils itself to you. Shyly, you stand in the threshold of the chamber, much of your courage extinguished and gasp. The bedroom itself is gorgeous. It is a chamber so luxuriant not even the shadows can obscure the fine craft of the furniture within it, nor the rich patterns on the walls. It is the girl inhabiting the chamber, however, who truly takes your breath away. Oh my god, why did I jump a little bit? I felt my heart leap, holy shit. Sitting upon the velveteen sheets of the towering four-poster is a girl in a sumptuous red gown who seems to be of a like age to you. You do not have a clear view of the girl's face. Her head is bowed, her gaze directed downwards to her lap. You can tell from her hair, however, and from her slender calves which protrude from beneath the hem of her dress, that she is very pretty. The girl's hair is cocomelon. The girl's hair is golden, just like freshly cut wheat, but it is the red of her dress which truly captures your attention. She is so striking you cannot look away from her. Ew. Brother, why would you show me this? The girl is not alone in her chamber either. She has a companion, though this companion is not half so endearing as she. Now she is looking at you, however, her face illuminated by the flames in their grate. You can see that you were mistaken. She is not just pretty, she's beautiful. So much so it is breathtaking. She looks as though she had stepped out of the pages of a picture book. She is simply too perfect to belong to this world. Perhaps she is some kind of vision, a waking dream, a hallucination. But no, she is none of those things. She is startlingly beautiful. I just heard Irish there. She is startlingly beautiful. She even puts man-made representations of feminine charms to shame. The sight of her makes you feel rather weak. Weak to the knees, you're gushing. You're I'm sorry. You always have had a fondness for fair maidens, haven't you? You are rather hopeless when it comes to them, even worse than a knight-errant from a courtly legend. Your aesthetic appreciation is not particularly ladylike, but, well, it is not every day a girl encounters an elegant beauty like this, attired in red, illuminated by the firelight. I suppose I can forgive you for this rudeness, as too can the girl. She does not seem to be the type to hold a grudge. "Oh," the girl says in a voice that's surprisingly enough far less refined than her appearance. "It is good to see you. I've been waiting." Has she? That is news to you. You blink, perplexed, a response on the tip of your tongue, but you are unable to expel it into the ether. The girl, I can't say girl in British. The girl is sitting or setting her doll aside. Then she stands, the hem of her dress swishing about her legs. Nimbly, like a ballerina, she canvasses the space between you. Her room is so very large. There is quite a lot of space. Then takes your hands in her own. "You must," the girl says, her eyes aglow with excitement, "be my new lady's maid. It's been a while, but it's such a relief that you finally arrived. I knew that you would. You'd never leave me alone, not when you knew how long I was waiting. Oh, I'm so happy." The girl's good mood is contagious, so much so you find yourself being swept away in it. You're tempted to accept any identity she might press upon you. You have never been a maid before, but you might not mind being this girl's maid. She does not seem like a poor mistress to serve, not if she is always this kind. You cannot mask the confusion, however, which flickers across your face. You are not a good enough actress, and in any case, this is all happening too quickly. Why, you barely know this girl. Or am I mistaken? Are you not my new lady's maid after all? The disappointment in the girl's face is abundant, so much so your heart clenches. You do not know her, she is still a stranger, but you are struck all of a sudden with the intense desire to appease her. You do not want to be let her down. The thought is devastating. You were not aware, you tell her, that you had applied to be her maid, but if that is what she wills, you would not be opposed to it. You pray that she forgives you, though, for your discombobulation. Jesus Christ. You come from a distant country and you have traveled for many miles. You know not where you are, and you do not know who she is.
What? You don't know who I am?
It is regrettable, you tell her, but no, you do not know her, though that is no fault of her own. Why, you have spent such a long time running you hardly even know yourself.
Ah, so you're a fugitive then, from another country. I see. I won't pry into your past then, if you'd rather forget about it. I don't mind sharing my past with you, though. Everybody in this country knows who I am, after all, or at least they should.
Now this is quite the impressive boast. If it were to come from the lips of another, you would find it unpleasantly arrogant. You do not think, however, that this girl is trying to show off. You get the feeling instead that she's merely telling the truth.
If you don't have the pleasure of knowing me, then allow me to do the honors. My father and my mother were the king and queen of this realm, and I am its princess. I've lived in this castle all my life, so I don't know much about the outside world, but I know that the other countries do exist out there. I presume it is from one of these foreign countries that you came from. It is very good to meet you. I've always wanted to talk to someone from overseas. It feels like quite the opportunity.
The girl giggles at this, and you smile in response. You hadn't known before you entered the chamber that you were trespassing on a lady of such great renown. Why, if she willed it, she could have had you executed for your carelessness. An ugly red flush creeps up on your face, a flush which is far more lurid than the princess's dress as you look at your feet. Bashfully you stammer out a new address, that you are very sorry for intruding upon her, and you hope that she can forgive you.
Oh, it's alright, think nothing of it. I don't mind, really. We all make mistakes. And anyway, you weren't to know. You said you weren't from around here.
You nod your head in silent affirmation. It isn't a complete lie. You really are not from this country. You are not from this world, after all.
How wonderful! I look forward to picking your brain later. All of my sermons come from the nearby village. Their tales are all the same, and so are their superstitions. I could do with a breath of fresh air. Breast? My last lady's maid told me I was too impetuous, but I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting a bit of adventure. But I haven't seen any of my old lady's maids in a while. Or any of the other servants, for that matter. They've all disappeared.
Now that is quite curious. How could a whole household full of servants simply disappear?
That I don't know. This castle was full of servants once. My lady's maids, and my undermaids, and my scullery maids, and my housekeeper, and my cooks, and a large retinue of retainers. They're all gone now, though. I think my ministers must have sent them away. I don't know why they would do that, though. They didn't explain it to me. But then again, they never explained anything to me. They still treat me like a little girl. Ugh, it is so tiring.
She said that her ministers sent her servants away? What of her parents, the king and queen? Would they not be the ultimate authorities in the castle's hierarchy?
They would, yes, if they were still alive, but they're not. They died a long time ago. I was raised for the most of my life by my servants.
Oh, you answer, and then you flush. You hadn't known.
It's alright, you don't need to apologize. I'm just happy that I have you now. I was getting sick and tired of only having my dolls to speak to. They aren't the best conversational partners.
You can imagine so, yes. You doubt any doll, even one made by a talented artisan, with an intelligent face indistinguishable from a human's, would be very good at answering back.
Oh no, they aren't. They're hopeless at it, really. They're so stony-lipped. You've no idea how much of a relief it is to see you. This castle is so big, and without my servants, it feels so very empty. It gets so lonely here.
She said the name of the title! She said the name of the game, not the title. What am I doing?
You're probably tired, dear one, from your travels. Would you like me to show you to your room?
Yes, the princess announces before you can say anything to reply.
I think I'll do just that. I might show you a bit around at the castle first, though. It's like a maze in here, and I wouldn't want you getting lost. You'll be staying here for quite some time, after all.
The princess then hastens to take you on a tour of her home. Fortunately, she does not show all of the rooms in her abode, and neither does she offer overly long descriptions as to what the few rooms she does show you are used for. She does, however, pause by the kitchens, whereat she offers you some victuals. Once the growling in your belly has been satisfied, the princess then resumes her journey. She leads you down a dark, twisting hallway, and up a series of equally dark, twisting steps, until she arrives at long last before a door. The princess pushes this door aside summarily. Guys, reading... I love visual novels, but reading for long periods of time is not my specialty.
Now here we are, the final stop of our tour. This will be your room, dear one. Hope it's to your liking.
The princess, despite her exalted status, looks somewhat uneasy as she observes you, her eyes upturned like one of those loyal dogs. Are we gonna scissor? I mean, so what? Who said that? Who said that? Is she concerned about your reaction to this room? Perhaps she is afraid that you will turn your nose up at her kindness. For a princess, she is awfully eager to please. This is unexpected contrast between the princess's lofty title and her ingratiating attitude makes you smile. The room is rather scanty, yes, but when it comes to its contents, but it's more than passable. It has a roof and 4 walls, and though it is cold, you fancy you will feel warmer once you have slipped beneath the bed sheets. There is only one bed in this room, and this bed is all to belong to you. You think that peace and quiet will do you a world of good. You tell the princess as much, and she smiles.
That's good. I was worried you wouldn't like it. I know it isn't much to look at, but it's one of the nicest service room we have in the castle. Now, it's getting late. You'll have to forgive me for rabbiting on. I've heard it's something I tend to do. It's a bad habit, one that's unbecoming for a lady. The housekeeper's warned me enough times.
You reassure the princess to the contrary, smiling as you do so. You were always scolded too, back in the conservatoire, for your behavior. You know full well how aggravating it can be to be upbraided, not for any particular misdemeanor, but for being yourself.
Well, I'm glad you understand, the princess answers with a giggle. I really should be off, though. It's bad manners to keep you, especially when you look so sleepy. Get some rest. We can talk more tomorrow, if you don't mind my ceaseless prattle. I'm glad you seem to appreciate it, at least. Though I'm sure you'll get tired of it eventually. All of my old maids did.
The princess departs, and in her absence, you take a seat upon the bed, your new bed. You retreat to the bed and slide beneath its sheets. Then you let your eyelids fall shut. You exhale. And lulled by the breeze which blows outdoors, you fall asleep. You're so very tired, your sleep is a deep and dark one. Darker even than the furthest abysses of the nighttime. Like the nighttime sky, however, which shimmers with the stars, your sleep is not devoid of those prismatic fragments you humans call dreams. You are not merely dreaming, you are remembering. You remember to the girls who slept in your dormitory and how they always hastened to use the shower first, so you were the last for breakfast. You remember how when you finally did arrive to the dining hall, the most desirable morsels have always been snaffled up by the girls who got there earlier. You stood out the least in your class, perhaps because you were one of the smallest, the frailest, the sickliest, who always came down with colds in the winter. Your poor health did not stop the other girls from treating you as a servant, though, when they remembered that you existed, of course. It was your lot in life, as you dwelt within the stone wall of the conservatoire, to carry school bags across the fields like a pack mule. Then, come the evenings, the girls in your dormitory had you sewing on missing buttons and ironing out the creases and wrinkles in their uniforms. If there was an odd job that needed performing, you would always be asked. But these girls did not ask you. That would have been too civilized. They ordered you instead, and as they ordered you, they laughed at you. They laughed and they laughed and they laughed. Their laughter hurt, but it hurt considerably less than the kicks did and the slaps and the pinches. Once during an embroidery lesson, one of your classmates had an accident with her sewing scissors. She stumbled, or at least she pretended to, and before you knew it, the silvery blades of those scissors were embedded in your left palm. This happened quite some time ago when you were even littler than you are now, but you can still remember it. It hurt a lot. The scissors were sharp, and they perforated your skin, not all the way down to the bone, but enough to bleed. Your wound bled bright red, like strawberry jam all over your embroidery. Then, when your professor saw it, she shrieked. Her face turned pale as whey, and she looked for a few moments as though she might faint, though you were the one who was in pain. professor looked at your face. She could not bear to look at your hand, and then demanded to know why you could not be more careful. Her tone had been a customary one, almost as if you had stabbed yourself in the hand with a scissor to goad her. The pain in your hand hurt, but the giggle of your persecutors hurt all the more. They never were punished for that. Perhaps your professor did not care enough to punish them. Perhaps she, like everybody else, thought it was all your fault. You feel disoriented when you awake at long last with the rising of the sun. You do not remember what you dreamt, but you do not think that your dreams were of a particularly pleasant nature. Where exactly are you? This does not look like your dormitory in the conservatoire, not unless it has shrunk 3 folds overnight. Your brows furrows as you attempt to recall the events of night prior, until with a gasp it all clicks into place. You remember now. You are running through the woods trying to escape from... You shudder. You do not want to think of what you were trying to escape from. You presume that you might have given your hunter the slip, though, because you are still in one piece, awake and alert enough to face the dawning of a new morning.